them to get divorced?
I don't recall that came out during the interview with him.
Did he mention that in his pre-interview?
He mentioned both. He mentions it in the pre, and he also mentions it in the formal, if I'm not mistaken.
Would it be safe to say that at both those opportunities, when he mentions it, you failed to ask why they got divorced?
I don't recall asking it, no.
Well, I didn't recall hearing it, that's why I asked. Did you ask why they got back together?
No.
Did you ask that in the pre-interview?
No.
Did you ask that in the formal interview?
No.
And I'm using these terms because these are the terms that you use. Pre-interview and formal interview. In essence, you read my client Miranda at 404, and from then on, anything that he said can or will be used against him, correct?
Yes.
Did you pull the divorce proceedings, the pleadings, the paperwork, in terms of, I guess the paperwork with regards to the divorce?
Yes, I've seen some of the documents that pertain to the divorce.
And you'll agree with me that there's no explanation in that paperwork as to why they got divorced, correct?
Not that I recall.
Sustained.
Judge, with regards to the previous objection, Judge, the document is a public record. We'd ask for the court to consider the public record.
Sustained.
Thank you, Judge. So, would it be fair to say that in the opportunity, the multiple opportunities, not one but two, that you had to ask Mr. Medina why they got divorced, why they got back together, no questions were asked, correct?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained. Next question, please.
Did you think that it was relevant as to why they got divorced and why they got back together?
At the time of the shooting and the information that we had, we're handling a homicide where Jennifer was shot on the kitchen floor of their house.
Well, that's what you think. Hold on.
Objection, Judge, interrupting the witness.
Sustained. Ask your next question.
Sure, no problem. So what you're telling me is you'll agree that my client peppers throughout his statement and peppers to law enforcement officers that he was the victim of abuse, correct?
Correct.
And your statement now is that you didn't think that it was relevant to look into what caused them to get divorced when my client's clearly giving you an indication that there was an issue with her abusing him. You didn't look into that, right?
Oh, we did.
Well, I mean with Derek. You didn't look into that with Derek, did you? What did you ask him?
It's not asking him. He advised us in his interview that several people could substantiate the fact that she was abusing him. We spoke with his Aunt
Objection,
Valerie.
Judge. He's going on a narrative.
Mr. Duggan, you asked the question. You're going to have to deal with the answer. Ask your next question.
Go ahead.
We spoke with Valerie Medina.
Mhm.
We spoke with Derek Ian Medina. We spoke with his mother, Julia. So we did speak to several people, and none of the people that we spoke to were able to say that. And in fact, when we asked your client about specific instances with regards to prior abuse and documentation, he kept referring to the same photographs he had taken that day.
Judge, can we come sidebar, please?
Ms. Silva.
Sure. So, detective,
No talking in court, please.
give me 1 second, Judge. Can I just get a minute to confer with counsel?
You should.
So, detective, based on your last answer, it's your testimony that his father, his aunt, and his mother all refuted Derek's issue of being abused.
Well, that they had
Hearsay,
seen,
Judge.
Sustained. Move on to your next area, please.
Judge, that's going to be over defense objection as we
So
said in
noted.
sidebar. Okay, well, back to Derek. Back to the person that you were interviewing. Let's talk about that, because that seems to be an area that we can discuss. Mr. Medina indicated to you that he was the victim of abuse, correct?
yes.
Did you ask him, or did you inquire when the last time he was abused prior to that day? Did you ask that question? Did you ever ask with regards to what different levels of abuse he's alleging, other than that day?
I know it came up. Give me a second, I'll look at the formal statement.
No problem.
Not that I recall.
And not that I recall is saying that you don't recall asking any of those questions, correct?
Yes, I don't recall.
with regards to, let's go back to the actual, the morning of August 8th, while Derek and Jennifer are still home, okay? The last time Derek comes downstairs while Jennifer is still alive, you'll agree with me that he comes downstairs with a firearm, correct?
Yes.
Prior to that, the first time he comes downstairs, is he armed?
No.
And you'll agree with me that prior to that, they had an altercation, they had an argument upstairs, correct?
Yes.
So, the last time that Derek comes downstairs, the time that he comes with a firearm, do you view him to be the aggressor in that situation?
Yes.
And would that be in direct contradiction to how you viewed him upstairs?
Well, initially when I viewed the situation, I viewed Jennifer as being the aggressor. At the point where he retrieves a firearm in the upstairs bedroom the first time, it's sort of like him taking it a step up, in my opinion.
Okay, and so when based on what you know, when he retrieved the firearm upstairs, he told you that that was to, in essence, let me ask you this. Based on what Derek told you, when he retrieved the firearm upstairs, did Miss Alfonso take him seriously based on Derek's statement?
No.
She laughed at him, right?
Yes.
Okay? She then made derogatory statements about his man, called him, pardon my language, a pussy, right?
Yes.
And based on what Derek told you, it appears that he retrieved the firearm to stop her from throwing the mascara and the towels and the other things at him, correct?
Yes.
So would it be fair to say that that retrieval of the firearm in that situation may be viewed as symbolic? Upstairs.
He retrieved the firearm in a domestic argument, so...
Well, how did his wife react to it? How did
said
she react to it?
She left.
Well, she laughed at him, right?
Correct.
She didn't take him seriously, right?
Correct.
And when she left, after having a firearm pulled on her, did you see her grab her daughter and run out of the house?
No.
No, right? She went downstairs and started making breakfast, correct?
I don't recall exactly what she was making, but yes.
It was morning time, correct?
Yes.
You saw a bowl with some sort of pancake mix or something, and then we've seen the pictures. She went downstairs to make breakfast, right?
I'm not exactly sure what was in the bowl, so
Okay.
I can't tell you if it's pancakes or not.
She went downstairs to make food, yeah?
To make something, yes.
Or she just went down to the kitchen and did dishes, yeah?
Correct?
You don't see her grabbing her 10-year-old daughter and running out of the house at that point, do you?
No.
Would you consider if somebody pulled a firearm on somebody else, if they took them to be serious, for them to not only get themselves, but more importantly, get their child out of that house, correct?
Correct.
Did that happen in this case?
No.
No. And when Miss Alfonso, the decedent, when she went downstairs, the video shows her re-engaging Derek, going upstairs 2 or 3 times.
I don't recall.
Multiple times, correct? It's not just once. She goes back upstairs to engage Derek multiple times. Am I correct?
I believe she's shown again. I can't tell you how many times.
Well, let me ask you this. At any point when she goes upstairs, does she come back downstairs with a travel bag and her travel bag in one hand and her daughter in the other, and attempt to leave?
No.
No, she doesn't. What happens is she goes upstairs, comes downstairs multiple times, and then there's a situation where when she comes downstairs, Derek comes behind her, correct?
Yes.
And that's when we have the first altercation in the downstairs kitchen, right?
Yes.
And when we have no idea what's said or done in that altercation, correct?
Correct.
You don't know if, I mean, we can all speculate till we're blue in the face as to what was said, but we won't know, right?
Correct.
But what we do know is that Derek then goes upstairs, correct?
Yes.
And when he goes upstairs, do you see Jennifer Alfonso attempt to leave the house or rush upstairs after him to get her daughter? You don't see that, do you?
No, there's a portion of the video that shows her open the door and close it again, but not to leave.
Right. And do you think that she did that to make Derek think that she left so he would come back downstairs?
Objection, call for speculation.
Sustain.
Right. Okay, well, she opens the door, closes it, but she stays in the house, correct?
Yes.
She doesn't run upstairs to grab her daughter. She just gingerly walks back to the kitchen, correct?
Correct.
She has a phone on her, right? We talked about she has a cell phone, right?
Yes.
At any point does she call 911?
No.
So no point in the morning, after having a gun pulled on her and all these confrontations, does Jennifer Alfonso call 911 and ask for help, correct?
Correct.
And you'll agree with me that she had her cell phone with her the whole time, yeah?
I believe so. So, yes.
When you spoke to Derek during the time that you had with him, from your 4:30 statement up until you stopped the formal statement, 7:23, did you ask him what caused the shooting? You did, right?
Yes.
And his statement was something to the effect of, she was punching me in the temple on the head or something like that, correct?
No. He says that, I believe he says she was getting close to his temple, but that she never hit his temple.
Did you ask him if the firearm that he had in his right hand was anywhere close to his head at the time? Did you ever ask him that?
Close to his head?
Correct. Did you ever ask him if he was concerned during the altercation that she was going for his firearm?
No, he never said anything like that.
That wasn't what I asked you. My question was, did you ask her?
No.
In the interview, you ask him after he disarms her if he disarms her and closes the cabinet door, correct?
The drawer.
The drawer. I'm sorry. I keep calling it cabinet. It's been a long day. You ask him if he closes the drawer, and he says yes, correct?
Correct.
And then he goes something to the effect of she was punching him like crazy, and then he shot, correct?
Correct.
Did you ask him if he believed that she had rearmed herself at any point after she put the knife away?
No.
You'll agree with me that a lot of the answers that Derek gives are directly in response to the questions that you asked, correct?
And he volunteered a lot of information as well.
I understand
Yes.
that, but specifically, if we play the video again, and I'm sure the jury will have an opportunity to view it again, you'll agree with me that you ask a lot of direct questions, and he gives you a lot of direct answers. Is that correct?
Correct. That's how the formal statement is designed, is for question and answer.
In his pre-interview, at any point, did you ask him the questions that I asked you with regards to the formal interview?
Yes, there are things that are covered in the pre-interview that ultimately would be covered in the formal.
Let me ask you a question. One of the things that he says in his in his formal interview is he says he honors South Miami and his let's see if we can, if I may, Judge. Come on up, Kevin. I'm going to play the video again. Maybe it's right at the beginning.
I apologize, Judge. I have my shoelaces untied. I gotta tuck this.
Triple.
Okay, just so that you know, it's very important. At this point, I'm going to ask you if you can read what I say.
And hold on, just pause. At this point, what you're doing with Derek is you're going over the Miranda form again, correct?
I believe so.
Correct. And I've instructed Mr. Wasser to try to get past that to the initial portion of the interview. Go ahead.
So you just enter at the bottom of the page? Yes, sir. And would you? Correct. And then she started throwing stuff.
Back.
This was self-defense. Are you currently residing with anyone? Residing with anyone?
Go back. Just let it play from there.
2013?
Just let it play.
As you know, we're investigating an incident that took place in under today's residence. Yes, sir.
May I, Judge? You know what it is?
How long have you been with the victim in this case? My wife? Yes, 4 years. 4 years, September 30th. Are you currently residing with anyone? Residing with me? Residing with her? Oh, like you live with her anyone? Yeah.
Pause
She
it.
lives with me.
Did he have a hard time understanding what residing meant?
Yes.
Were there any other terms that you thought that he may have been confused about?
Not that I recall.
Go ahead, Taylor, push play.
No. And did you have any children together? No. Earlier this morning, you turned yourself into the South Miami Police Department, correct? Yes, sir. Why did you do that? Because on that trip, I was self-defense. And I honored my country, I honored my state, I honored the city of South Miami.
Pause it. Okay. The beginning portion of his formal statement tells you he's not a killer, it was self-defense. Was there a reason why he started the interview off that way? To your knowledge?
No, I asked him a question and he answered it the way he wanted to answer it.
He then goes and says he honors his country, his state, South Miami. Do you have any idea why he would make this statement?
No,
Did you ask him what he meant by it?
I don't believe so, no.
To your knowledge, my client doesn't have any military history, does he?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did you make any statements to my client telling him that he should honor his community by giving a statement or something to that effect?
No.
Were you thrown back by the statement that he made?
No, oftentimes people just say things, so, you know.
Right, and as a detective, it's your duty potentially to ask follow-up questions or conduct an investigation, correct?
Correct.
Like,
I feel that I feel like I intended to kill. I do not feel like this was, like I was out there to kill,
Pause it.
This was self-defense.
okay, so in essence, what my client now is saying is in terms of whether or not he had a design to kill the decedent in this case, correct? That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's correct. He also crosses it off in his readback portion of the...
And what does he write?
No, he doesn't write anything. That's the portion that he crosses out. He says he didn't say that.
Okay. But does he say it?
Yes, he does.
Okay. So when you do the playback for him, does he have the luxury of watching the video and reading the transcript?
No.
So what you do is you give him the whole paper, the readback, and you have that video in your possession, correct?
Correct.
So you give him that back, but not the video, and you ask him, are there any mistakes on this, correct?
Correct.
And do you say this? Do you go, is this what you said in our formal, that's what you said, right? Is this what you said in the formal interview? That's what you asked him, right?
And we go over it. We sit down with him just like I stated previously. We provide him with a copy of his sworn statement. And we allow him the opportunity to make any corrections, deletions, to change whatever he feels was not accurately documented during the formal statement.
Okay, well, let's talk about specifically this correction, where he says, where he scratches off what he wrote there. He was wrong, right? He made that statement.
Correct.
Right? Did you mention anything to him? Hey, listen, you actually made this statement? You didn't do that, right?
No, because I hadn't watched this. This was after...
At any point, did you attempt to re-interview my client after you had the privilege of looking at the video and comparing it to the sworn statement?
No.
Let's get back to the premeditation issue. Do you ask him any questions with regards to that in the interview? Or do you just let him say it and not ask any questions? Do you recall?
Can you refer me to a particular section you're referring to?
Well, you'll recall in the video here, he just talked about, I didn't intend on doing it. It's layman's conversation. Well, you know what? Go back 10 seconds, Taylor. Go to 752. 752.
I honor my country, I honor my state, I honor the state of my name. I feel that I feel like I intend to kill, I do not feel like this was, like I was out there together, no, it wasn't. This was self-defense.
No. So, after he tells you he had no designs of premeditation, do you ask him any follow-up questions?
No. We go into what happened, if we can finish, we went into what happened that morning at his residence.
Okay. And that's because that's what your intention was you had questions that you wanted to ask, right?
Correct.
Because you don't say, Derek, go ahead, tell us what happened, and you sit there and let him talk for 30 or 40 minutes. You have designated questions, correct?
Correct. That's the way our formal statements go. We usually prepare questions after a pre-interview, and we try to have a structured way to have a statement to memorialize what occurred. It's usually how our formal statements are designed.
Well, so those formal statements are geared towards getting the questions you want answered, correct?
Regarding the case, yes.
If Derek would have made any mention at the beginning of the case of the fact that the decedent in this case had a drug issue, that's why she lost her child, he was worried about her drug use, so on and so forth, would you have asked him about that in the formal interview?
Probably not.
Right. And given the fact that that would have never been mentioned, would I be safe to assume that you probably wouldn't have mentioned it in your report either?
Well, I recall that happening in that particular instance where it was recorded, and I knew it was recorded, so it is documented.
Well, that wasn't my question. I said if he didn't mention it in the formal interview, if 5 seconds before the video would have started playing, if he would have made that statement to you with regards to her drug issues and the issues she had with her child, would you have put that in the report?
I would say yes. This way everything that he says was somewhat documented. In this particular instance, he makes that statement when the recording's already on prior to us walking in the room. So I know it's on. It's not like I have somebody in the other room that's waiting to push record. So I knew that it was being recorded.
And it was also not one of the questions that you had listed out in your direct examination of him, correct?
No.
All right, you can close that for now, Taylor. Just minimize it. Thank you, Judge. In the video, we haven't seen the video yet, but you've seen it, correct?
Which video?
Of the kitchen.
Correct.
You'll agree with me that, just looking up a picture that's relevant, Judge. Okay, there it is. You'll agree with me that walking in after the dishwasher, there's a sink, correct?
Correct.
And that sink has two specific little areas where you can do dishes and stuff like that. It's not just one open, it's not, I think it's called a farmer's sink, I don't know what it's called, but it's not one big sink, it's a sink broken in two, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And that sink is made out of like a metal object, correct?
I believe it is metal.
Did you ever look, or have you looked and seen the shadows that you can see on the reflection of the sink in the kitchen?
I believe you see some movement, but you can't tell what it is.
You'll agree with me that there's substantial movement in the second time that he goes down there, correct?
I'd have to go review it again.
I'll let you do that tonight, if that's okay, and we'll discuss that tomorrow. Okay.
Ask your next question.
Sure, Judge. Did you have a special, you said that you had a forensic team that looks at the videos and stuff, right?
Correct.
Okay. Did you ever, to your knowledge, ask them to look in the sink for shadows to make a determination as to whether or not they could place those shadows based on spatial arrangements to the people in the kitchen?
No.
Did you ever look at the videos to make a determination if you can see Jennifer Alfonso right by the precipice of the boundary of the video camera right before the shots took place?
I don't recall seeing that, no.
Because if you saw that, that would dispute your case's theory that she was cowering in the other corner, correct?
Well, based upon her body position,
Because she can't be cowering in one area and showing physically in another, correct? You'll agree with me on that, correct?
yes.
Now, did you ever use the word cowering in your report when describing Jennifer Alfonso's position in the kitchen?
Yes.
Was that a term you utilized, or was that a term that you got from the forensic examiner in this case? Objection, yes.
Sustained.
Did you come up with this term, cowering?
No. I don't believe so, no.
No, you don't believe so,
I
or
don't
no?
believe so.
I'm sorry. I apologize. No or no, I don't believe so. I'm sorry.
I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you. Who's the medical examiner at the scene?
Dr. Johnson and Dr. Liu.
And that's Dr. Dana Johnson, correct?
Dr. Dana Johnson and Dr. Emma Liu, Deputy Chief Medical Examiner.
And Dr. Emma Lou is the deputy chief, correct?
Correct.
She's the big wig of the office, correct?
That's correct. Well, she has a boss above her, but she's
But she's one of the
top.
correct? And did you observe what the medical examiner was doing at the scene?
Yes, I was there for that portion.